Hello, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Tuesday, August 20th, 2013. The fate of American Safety Insurance Company and American Safety Reinsurance Company is finally resolved. As we reported yesterday, there was some news that broke, and now it's official. Fairfax Financial Holdings agreed to sell a Bermuda-based reinsurance unit that they are acquiring. When they purchase the whole of American Safety Insurance, they're going to sell it to Catalina Holdings. Now, as part of the deal, Fairfax is going to pay Tower Group, which had originally agreed to purchase American Safety Re, some $5 million. Tower Group apparently ran into some difficulty when they had to postpone their second quarter numbers. The NASDAQ has indicated that they have some questions, and Tower stock has dropped precipitously. All Catalina had to do was, of course, pay some money to Fairfax and also agree to sell the shares of American Safety, to vote the shares of American Safety Insurance, which they had been acquiring, in favor of the Fairfax acquisition of American Safety. So this is finally finished. This is actually very interesting. We'll see how this unfolds. QBE, Australia's biggest insurer, reported a steeper than expected 37% slump in their first half profit. This reflects a spike in claims. First half profit after tax was $477 million, down from about $760 million in the same period last year. They saw a spike of about $180 million in prior year accident claims. The formal sale process for the reinsurance broking arm of Towers Watson has apparently so far failed to catch fire. The big three reinsurance brokers, Aon, Carpenter, and Willis, apparently are not interested. The Insurance Insider says that Cooper Gay has signed a non-disclosure agreement and begun talks with Towers Watson. It's very interesting because Towers Watson has been around for quite some time, and there are some natural synergies with some other American-based broking companies. The Fukushima nuclear power plant is in the news today. It was announced today that some 300 tons of highly radioactive water have leaked from one of the hundreds of storage tanks there. The hundreds of storage tanks continue to be built because the nuclear plant is going to continue to have an endless supply of radioactive water. The core is going to remain hot for several thousand years, and to keep it cool, water has to be dumped on it, and then it has to run off somewhere, so it has to be held in the tanks. If the tanks leak, that's a problem. The Japanese are very concerned about the tank design, and they wonder where the leaked water has gone to. They speculate it may have gone into the Pacific Ocean. A B-1B Air Force bomber crashed in Montana yesterday, about 170 miles southeast of Billings. All 4 crew members ejected safely. A little bit to the south in Idaho, firefighters are making some progress on a monster wildfire that threatens homes owned by Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tom Hanks, and Bruce Willis, and others. The Beaver Creek fire is 104,000 acres large. It's quote-unquote a beast looming on the edge of Sun Valley. About 1,800 homes remain under a mandatory evacuation notice, and some 8,000 others are on a pre-evacuation notice, ready to flee at a moment's notice. The leader of the armed group Boko Haram in Nigeria, Abu Bakar Shekau, may have died of gunshot wounds some 2 months ago after a firefight with government forces. It's believed that Shekau was shot on June 30th during a battle and was taken to, of all places, secretly Cameroon for medical treatment, but he later died. I'm sure medical care in that condition is pretty poor, to be blunt. The United States has recently offered a $7 million bounty for information leading to his arrest. Well, in all this talk about eavesdropping and freedom and liberal rights and all that, which is certainly good, and I'm not saying anything, a German newspaper reported yesterday how American intelligence services had bugged a conference call between leading operatives of al-qaeda, including Ayman al-zawahiri. They were talking about targeting European trains and tunnels, and to sabotage railway tracks themselves and the electric cable serving them. The newspaper said that the planned terrorist attacks were a central topic of a conference call intercepted by the National Security Agency. Only Spain has baggage screening for its high-speed trains. Deutsche Bahn and the SNCF in France have no precautions in place. With security ever more difficult to circumvent at airports, al-qaeda plotters apparently, based on this conference call that was intercepted and listened to, al-qaeda plotters believe strikes on railways would yield enormous casualties and strike fear into hated allies of America. European express trains carry nearly 500 passengers at a time, and derailment at high speed would have horrifying consequences, said an anti-terrorism expert on Radio Bavaria last night. Indeed, there's a certain balance that has to be struck. We have to listen to some people, and we'll see. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see.